today
चलो
today in this special evening episode with cameraman Rima Jaiswal, we are proposing or summing our Graviton unified field theory. Since previous episodes are in the background in Facebook and YouTube, so I am just summing all the things in this episode as Graviton UFT. Proposal 1 is that space is filled with quantized 2D sheets. It is filled with quantized 2D sheets. These quantized 2D sheets have no mass but have energy. Although I have shown it by some flat bars lines, but actually they are vibrating. So each sheet is actually some kind of vibration, and these vibrating quantized sheets actually form 3D projections. But without vibration, they are only 2D sheets. These vibrating 2D sheets form 3D projection, and this is known as, this vibrating 2D sheet is called in our theory graviton. 2D sheet forming 3D projection is something like as a holographic principle of Leonard suction. Now, because of these vibrations, each graviton molecule or particle, which is represented by G, makes random contacts with surrounding space. Sometime here, sometime here, after some time here. But these random vibrations in each molecule of graviton particle is due to interaction with these surrounding particles. If particles, these vibrating graviton sheets, because of vibration, they create 3D projections. Because of vibration, they create 3D projections, and that's why they interact in a random way. But why each graviton sheet behave like that? Why each graviton sheet actually vibrate is because of some long range interactions also. Because each sheet is interacting with not only just opposite or reverse sheets in random way, but also there is some long term varying connection between the sheets. Varying connections. That's why each element in its surrounding space covers its surrounding space, forming a 3D projection in a random way. So random interaction is actually due to some kind of long range interaction between these graviton particles also. Okay, I am not complicating the things. I am only saying that if for this particle as a vibration is interacting with its surrounding particles in some time called random way, then each particle is vibrating because connection is not between random wave only between these each particle surrounded by these surrounding particle. There are also some higher order connections between these graviton sheets, and these higher order connections also vary. Sometimes this sheet contact with this sheet, higher order pattern, but another time this sheet forming higher order pattern with another sheet, another set of sheets. Okay, so we have long range connections or interactions which actually vibrates each graviton sheet and changes into a 3D projection, so that in its surrounding region random contacts between sheets is made. What happens when light as a source of energy, light flows, then random each particle, I am not showing in 3D projection, I am showing just simple diagram. Sometime connection is here, sometime here, sometime here, sometime here, sometime here. But when light propagates as vibration in these sheets, then these sheets get direction. These random connections actually show a tendency of what? Linear interaction. That is, interaction becomes linear. Okay. Furthermore, light is only as extra vibration. Extra vibration. That is, although these sheets are vibrating, but light actually increase the vibrations. That is, if we ignore the original vibration, suppose this is flat sheet, what light will, it is between A and B, when light will propagate, then these sheets are making a random connection, but when light travels as vibration, then these sheets actually shrink further, so that between A and B now we can have 2 sheets or 3 sheets. Okay, so single sheet can be visualized as 2 sets of sheets when light is propagating. More better representation is single sheet vibrating. We are showing single sheet between A and B. When light passes, then between A and B there becomes 2 sheets between A and B, because since these show further vibrations. Now, so that whole sheet is consumed in halfway. That, see, another way to represent this thing is that sheets were flat, so only one sheet covers. Now it has 2 sheets, so sheets are actually curved due to vibration. This corresponds to one sheet. This corresponds to one flat sheet. Okay. Now here is the space for second sheet. Since originally we have one sheet, propagation of light, extra sheet comes from environment. Extra sheet comes from environment. So this is our basic theory. When light is trapped in a cyclic way as a mass and is surrounding gravitational field, when light is trapped in a cyclic way, suppose between A and B I have one sheet. When light passes between A and B we have 2 curved sheets. Okay, cameraman Rima? Extra sheets comes from environment. Okay, when light pass over from between A and B, then A and B become a single flat sheet. Although it is flat, but it is also vibrating. And extra sheets are returned back to the environment. Okay, but if light passes reversibly between A and B, that is A and B, light passes, we have 2 sheets, or which can be represented 2 curved sheets. Okay, and when light goes, this structure is again regained. Again light pass in a cyclic between A and B, then this structure again is regained. Overall number of seats increase between 1 and 2, between A and B. So mass is a localized form of energy. Mass is a localized form of energy, so that light is trapped as mass, okay, and in its surrounding gravitational field. Okay, that is, light is actually here. Suppose light is actually passing reversibly. Okay, passing reversibly. That is, suppose graviton sits in the environment, it is passing reversibly, something like that. Okay, seats are changed. Okay, now again after some time this process will reverse and this energy will gone. Now this energy will happen, this portion will gone. Okay, then this portion is gone, structure changes. Now this structure regain, so that this portion is gone. Okay, so all these due to reversible passing of light in this central portion mass and surrounding area, overall concentration of graviton sheets, overall net flow of energies towards graviton, this gravitational field and in mass. So what is gravity in our model is that closer to mass we have extra number of sheets, so zigzag pattern are more, since energy is coming from the environment overall, no? And with greater distance number of average seat decreases. Okay, average number of seats more zigzag is between closer to mass, and this zigzagness decreases. Simple terms, closer to mass more number of seats, these are more zigzagness number of seats. As distance increases, distance between seats, number of seats decreases. Okay, why are you laughing, cameraman? Okay, Bhima. So what is gravity? Gravity is nothing but this extra zigzagness. Extra zigzagness means here more number of seats between 2 points A and B. Same physical distance but less number of seats. Okay, what it means? One more representation in terms of Einstein theory. It means terms of general relativity, between A and B more number of seats, no? More zigzag, more curvature, so that extra seats can be accommodated. Seats are more curved, space time is curved. Okay, and here space is less curved, so that only 2 seats. In terms of space time curvature, figure can be shown like that. But space time curvature, that is it is equivalent of saying that number of seats are closer to mass. It is average picture actually. It is what?
Average picture.
So gravity is a average phenomena. Okay, extra curvature means average phenomena. More curvature means more average number of gravitational seats. More average number of gravitational seats means more zigzag, more curved seats. Okay, But these curved sheets are only showing average number, more number of seeds. More curvature means more number of seeds. Okay, so gravity is greater closer to mass, but it is average figure, average perception. Actually, each sheet actually is in some kind of fluctuation. Original model is that flat sheet are not flat, they are in some kind of fluctuation. Gravity only increases the one sheet, but A and B, but it is also in fluctuation some kind. Okay, gravity increases the number of sheets. Why? Fluctuations increases. Now, so this is quantum picture. Each sheet is actually made up of vibrating quantum 2D surface, which is 3D projected because of vibrations. Okay, gravity is just an average phenomena showing the degree of curvature, or in more simple term is showing that curvature of space-time curvature means curvature of space-time, more space-time curvature means more number of accumulated graviton sheets. Each sheet actually is a quantum phenomena which is in vibration. Okay, cameraman? So we are extending the theory is that we don't show inherent vibrations. Suppose I have two graviton sheets, or for example two sheets, they are interacting, two graviton sheets, we are showing flat, we are not showing inherent vibration. Okay, and we are not showing gravity. But now suppose light creates extra vibrations, so that this sheet shrink, we have more number of sheets. Okay, now, but we are not concerned with total number of sheets between A and B. We are not concerned with total number of sheets between A and B. We are concerned with nature of vibrations, and this is the extra vibration can be shown like that. Of course, it may include two sheets, but it is photon P1, it is photon P2. When they will collide, these vibration, if this is plus, this is minus, after some time this become plus, and this minus become this vibration, this become plus, after some time this plus become minus. Vibrations are not closed, so no concept of charge. Okay, but when these vibrations collide, surfaces close, surfaces get closed. Okay, so that when two photons collide, positive vibrations are closed, then negative vibrations closed, positive, negative, positive. Okay, when these vibrations close, they form Higgs massless charge particles. Okay, this is surfaces are closed. Okay, and this is what positron electron pair is created. Okay, positron electron pair is created. Okay, this is in superposition, because positive may change into negative, negative may change into positive. Sometimes these vibrations may be open for a temporary movement, it also may open for a temporary movement, and they may interchange their positions. Okay, with the passage of time, if two photons collide, so positron electron pair may be created like this, but you can add extra graviton sheets from the environment, so that these particles will travel outward. Okay, but now we have more number of extra sheets. something like that, not always alternative, okay? But here one type is positive more and one time is negative more positive, okay? Particle may change identities, okay?
Okay.
In small space, positron electron pair created at the same time. They are entangled in a long space, but with the help of extra graviton fluctuating sheets aiding in the environment. These two photons are entangled photons. Okay? Okay, cameraman?
Okay. Okay.
Now Alice is here, Bob is here. They, because of observation, disturb this system. Okay? They disturb this system. What happens? All positive vibrations comes one side. Okay? So that isolated positron is formed. Graviton sheets remove themselves from between. Similarly here, all negative vibrations come one side. Okay? Okay, cameraman? This is electron pair is created. Okay? Previous episode I have shown that when two vibrations, it is its whole system is some type of a standing wave. Some type of a standing wave. But disturbance is taking place. This photon is a traveling wave. Okay? Traveling wave disturb this standing wave. Traveling wave disturb this standing wave. Okay? Disturbance of this traveling wave cut the system here. Disturbance of this traveling wave cut the system simultaneously here. Okay? So that two pairs are created. Without this photon, disturbance has to travel this infinite length. You need not to travel this infinite length. Okay? Only interaction time, small interaction time is needed, and two opposite pairs are created simultaneously, instantaneously. This is what? Breakage of entanglement. Particles may be infinite distant apart, but no disturbance has to travel from one end to other end, because system is in a standing wave, something structure. This structure collapses symmetrically so that signal from one end need not to travel to other end. Okay? Collapse occurs in between. The time of collapse are very short. Okay? Two particles are generated simultaneously. What quantum mathematics is saying. Another way is that all positive vibrations, cameraman, all positive vibrations come at one point, and all negative vibrations surround the area. Okay? Okay, cameraman?
ठीक है, हम सुन रहे हैं.
Surround the
एरिया.
sphere. Okay, cameraman? So this creates field of nucleus. This creates field of nucleus. And this creates field of electron field is created. Okay? Now we have to look other aspects. These particles may open and they may come closer also. Figure may be what? Something like that. They in dynamic position, movement also. Suppose in this point particles may get closer. Okay? Opens and come closer. Nah? This figure may further be changed into this negative Higgs massless particle, where particles are very closer. Some may get coalesce in the central region. This form electron as a particle in the electron surrounded by electron field. Okay? This picture may further be reduced as there may be some interaction between massless particle coalescing. some cloud, but there is more number of negative mass is there. This is electron as a particle, and it is surrounded by massless particles and sometimes by cloud. Okay, so overall picture is that na these negative massless particles have concentration. They are in a type of diffusion. So at some point coalitions are more. So here is a electron as a particle. Okay, and other points coalitions are very rare, very small. Okay, so it is surrounded by a cloud. Okay, surrounded by a cloud. So if this position reflects the total energy of the system Ux, okay, and this particle and its surrounding cloud moved with particle, then we assume a box, and we actually balance the total number of negative massless particles. As in chemical engineering, Professor Sanjeev Kumar Gupta in IIT Bangalore and Professor Vijesh Kumar Katiyar sir in HBTI Kanpur, any chemical engineer will do it. All the things have been created from this negative massless particles. Okay, so where major mass electron is seen surrounded by some overlap in cloud, here we can assume a box. Okay, cameraman? Okay,
bro.
from this surface diffusion is taking, from this surface diffusion is going outward. Okay, so there is net diffusion in the box of massless particles. Suppose at this point is representative point of the system. This is position X, where major mass is represented as a particle. Of course, surrounding mass is distributed as a cloud, and of course with negative, all the things are made from negative massless particles. So at this point, what is the concentration of negative massless particle, cameraman? Psi xt concentration of Higgs negative massless particles. Okay, it is what it represents, what concentration of these negative massless particle in this box. Okay, Higgs negative massless particles. Okay, how it is changing? Day by day, changing with time. Why? Diffusion, net diffusion term, minus d day square x square psi xt. I am not saying psi xt. This is one term. Okay, particle and cloud moving, so diffusion is affecting the diffusion. So second term is rebound term, which is given by a constant b. Particle and cloud is moving simultaneously, for example. So this energy can be represented by b into ux, velocity. It is rebounding, affecting the diffusion of these negative massless particles. Natural diffusion rate is this. Okay, but this is affected by particle and cloud movement. So another term is psi xt. This is rebound term. Third term is net diffusion, which occur from these two terms inside this box. Some particles change into fixed charge, that is cloud. So here you have to decrease the total number of particles converted into mass. So we are actually balancing the populations of negative massless particles. So these two terms actually gives the overall particles, overall change in particles of negative massless particles. But these particles also converted into mass, so we have to decrease the overall thing to represent the overall change in the concentration of Higgs negative massless particles. It is represented by spin constant. Okay, and these, not every collisions will convert into coalescence or mass. Okay, only energized collision. If one of the negative particles move with cloud or mass, then its velocity may be represented by this term. But another term it should have enough energy. So concentration term is not sufficient as here. You need to represent velocity and concentration in a single term here. Effective collision like chemical reaction kinetics. Na? As Professor Modak teaches in ISC Bangalore. So for enough energy term which represent concentration and velocity, you can use what? Diffusion term for psi xt. Okay? Okay, cameraman? So we have three terms. This term is nothing but double derivative term of Schrodinger equation. Okay? This term single derivative term of Schrodinger and Dirac equation. And this term minus minus gets positive, but this term is actually a single derivative term. It is Dirac special term. Okay? So overall we in this model derivative by derivative of psi xt has three terms. Okay? First is a double derivative term similar to Schrodinger equation. This is diffusion term. Then what? Without derivative term, rebound term. Okay? And the third term is spin constant multiplied by ux multiplied by single derivative term, which is actually a Dirac term. Okay? This is overall complete equation. Okay, cameraman? This is Schrodinger Dirac equation. Okay? Which is how how it is derived in using complex algebra, we all know. Energy can be represented classically as energy equal to what? Potential energy plus P square by 2m in this format. Now you multiply both side by side and you change everything into operators. Okay? You get this type of equation, Schrodinger equation. But energy can be represented in Dirac term. How? Beta times mc square plus alpha times okay alpha x na pxc of sigma in Dirac term. Okay? We can interpret it. Beta is actually represent, although they are matrices according, but I interpret it differently. Beta m represent changing rest mass. Changing rest mass. And this portion represent change in velocity. Change in velocity of particle plus cloud. Okay? Now you substitute work operators. You get this term and single derivative term and without derivative. This is Dirac formulation. Okay? But both these equations are incomplete. This is classical picture where mass doesn't change. Mass doesn't change, but energy of space is included in ux. But this is relativistic picture where mass is changing, but energy of space is not present. Why? Because suppose I have a mass. Okay? I have a mass. So what will be this is energy? It will be given by what? E equal to mc square. Okay? Where m is what? Relativistic mass. It is moving or rotating. It is moving or rotating. So m is a relativistic mass. Okay? Okay, cameraman? Now suppose it is moving, rotating, so m is relativistic mass, E is total energy, mc square. But suppose all this energy of rest mass and rotation, that is overall all this relativistic mass converted into photons. Na? All this energy converted into photon. So what? All energy will be lost. Here space is left. Space is left. All this E equal to mc square, energy gone. Energy gone. But still energy of space, graviton sheets energy are there. Okay? Graviton sheets energy are there. So that energy needs to be added on both sides. Okay? In this relativistic equation. Although it is a total relativistic equation, this equation can be represented by E square equal to, in terms of rest mass and in terms of momenta, it can be represented by m square m naught rest mass. I am showing that it is rest mass. M square c to the power 4 plus p square c square, something like that. Okay, cameraman? This can be represented single-handedly by, this is relativistic mass. Okay? Now, but in these equation we have not included the energy of space, because suppose all this energy and mrc square or this is converted into what? Photons. Then energy of space will be left out. Okay? But before adding energy of space, Dirac formulation changed into some type of beta mc square plus sigma alpha x px c. Okay? So we add both sides at energy of space. Energy of space, both sides. Energy of space. Now when we add both sides, this gives total energy. This gives total energy. So that total energy operator and multiply both sides by psi. Total energy operator psi. Here we get. Okay? When multiplied by psi, we get beta mc square psi. First Dirac term. Multiplied by this, na, sigma alpha x px c multiplied by psi, second Dirac term. Okay? Second Dirac term. Plus energy of space multiplied by psi. This is third term. It is actually a distribution of space energy is left out. When all these mass, cameraman, and all these mass go into as a photon, then also some energy is left. It is uniformly distributed. But when mass is present, it is distributed according to net diffusion. So this last term changes into what? What? It gives energy of space multiplied by psi, which is actually a distribution of space energy, which is equivalent of saying diffusion of space energy. Na? Diffusion of Higgs negative massless particle diffusion. Diffusion of Higgs negative, cameraman, diffusion of Higgs negative massless particles. Okay? So overall total energy operator including energy of space, when it is changed into like a Schrodinger method, I h cut diver by diver t of psi, left hand side. Okay, it gives not only total energy including energy of space and wave function. Okay, right hand side beta mc square psi, first Dirac term. Second term is what? When you convert into operators, na, then it will be given by what? Cameraman? Huh? It will be given by minus I h cut. Huh? See, when we give meaning to operators, momentum operators, na? Sigma alpha x diver by diver x psi. This is second term, Dirac term. And what is third term? Which is energy of space multiplied by psi. As an operator, it is nothing but it can be represented by This term can be represented by Schrodinger-like term. Some constant, space constant multiplied by Schrodinger-like term. For unit management, h square by 2m diver square diver x square of psi. So overall picture becomes what? Overall equation becomes complete equation including energy of space is changed. Please see previous episode also. I h cut diver by diver t of psi is equal to beta mc square psi minus I h cut c sigma alpha x diver by diver x psi minus space constant h cut square by 2m. Okay, cameraman? Sigma diver square diver x square psi. This is Schrodinger-Dirac equation. Okay, cameraman?
Thank you. Look.
Just okay.
Bye. Thank you very much.
Other aspects. Thank you, Rima. So other aspects, various other aspects like creation of photon. Since when light passes as a fluctuation between these fluctuating graviton seeds are oriented in a particular direction and number of seeds increases between any 2 points. So number of seeds come closer. So when light passes in a region of space, seeds gets closer. Seeds gets closer means some seeds from other sides comes in this closing seeds, na? So that overall a gap is created in the region. When light passes as a wave, as a fluctuation in these graviton seeds, number of graviton seeds increases, but extra seeds come from the environment. But that creates gap in the surrounding environment. That's why a continuous wave pulse of light breaks at some point. That's why we observe light not as a continuous wave but as a series of breaks, which are photon breaks, which are composed of photons. That is why light is not continuous in absorption and emission, etc. Okay, because when light passes from graviton seeds which are equally spaced, distance between some seeds decreases. That means where distance between seeds decreases, extra seeds come from environment, that is gaps created in the surrounding environment. So that continuous wave of light breaks at some points. So light is converted from wave to discontinuous energy particles called photons. This graviton model explains the origin of photon also, while light is quantized. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, Jai Vish. Thank you for watching, and please comment, share, and various loopholes may be there. And this is the quantum sanitary year. As a layman, I want to give tribute to our great scientists like Leonard Sexton, Roger Penrose, which are living legends. And I am watching the video of Lisa Randall, and also Sabina Hosenberg, and awesome videos. It gave AI video of great scientist Richard Feynman, and lectures from MIT of great scientists, AI videos of Paul Dirac, Neil Bohr's, and various other sites. Sites of Brilliance, videos produced from Brilliant, and then what dialect, physics explained. I love physics explained videos. Very coherent, very clean. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, Jai Vish. Thank you, sir.